welcome back, everybody. This is just going to be a short video. Thanks again for all of you for taking a couple minutes to watch these videos. If you like what you see, subscribe, like. Got good response on the last video, which was about the best of 2023, and that was done, I guess, early last week. Since then, I had 4 records come in that were really outstanding. That at least 2 of them I'd have to put in my top 10, and I'm gonna keep it short here. But I wanted to tell you about them because a couple of them are really new, and I have a feeling that they're going to sell out pretty quick. So we'll get right to it. Again, this will be a short video. I'm going to be doing another one, hopefully this week, on my best of non-new reissue jazz. Because that's really what I like to do here. There's so many people doing some great work here on the vinyl community, talking about new issues of older material and some new things. So I kind of like to stay with, some of the older stuff that I find here and there that I enjoy. So that's coming up pretty quick. So what came in this week? Wow. Let's get to the first one. And this record is amazing. Scott over at the Pressing Matters, I'll put his link on this video, did an outstanding review of this that was published on YouTube yesterday. This is Coleman Hawkins Encounters Ben Webster. It's an old verve done in the late 50s. But I have to tell you, not to reiterate what Scott's going to tell you, but it's one of the cleanest records I've heard this year as far as quiet vinyl, dynamic range, the mastering that was done, by Ryan K. Smith, I believe, on this. And of course, it's an acoustic sounds, and it's QRP pressing. Boy, I'll tell you, it's amazing. The jacket, Staunton jacket, of course. It's just a great record, and these 2 masters are ones that you all need to know about. I'm a photographer, and everybody pays attention, rightly so, in a lot of ways to Ansel Adams, who's a great photographer. Did a lot for us and was great. But boy, there were so many other great photographers during that period. Minor White, do you all ever hear of Minor White? Probably not. Paul Strand, Alfred Stieglitz, and many others. And we all listen to Coltrane, and we all listen to Parker and all the great saxophone players. I think we need to understand more about the Coleman Hawkinses and the Ben Websters and the Lester Youngs, and you'll see where Stan Getz came from, and you'll see where guys like Dexter Gordon developed their sound. We really need to know about the history to understand this music. Dan the Jazz Shepherd does such a great job at educating us about that. Anyhow, it's a great record. I don't know how long these are going to be around. If it's my guess, the word is out and they're going to go fast. Just an outstanding record. I definitely would put this in my top 10 favorite records for this year. And that's why I'm doing this video. It's stuff that just came in. A very different record from the Coleman Hawkins Ben Webster record is in the Atlantic series. Again, a QRP pressing. Thank you, Mr. Cassim. A 45 RPM record of blues and roots. Charles Mingus. Mingus, again, he was a strange guy. Very innovative musician. Had a horrible temper, and I believe that's probably was like a lot of us, maybe a product of upbringing. But again, knowing the history of the times and what was going on in society and how certain people reacted to certain things um, really is important. And Mingus was a poster child of that. Um, the story I guess behind this, if I remember right, is that he did a couple albums on Atlantic, and the critics were saying that he can't swing and he can't play blues. He played at the time, some very avant-garde things. So he made this record, and it's blues and roots. Well, it's a lot of roots in here. There's a lot of kind of gospel church sounding tunes, and very, very introspective for Mingus. It's a little bit different record than he did the prior two or three and the ones after this. He's a strange guy. There's a lot of kind of not chanting, but a lot of singing in a way on this. A lot of church influence in this. A very soulful record. At the time, it was, if you think about it, it was a pretty avant-garde type of record being done 75 years ago. At the time, not so much now, but at the time, recorded extremely well, very quiet, and at 45 RPM, it's exceptional. A lot of people may not understand why we listen to things at 45. Yeah, it's a pain in the neck to have to change it. The bottom line is the grooves are wider, the stylus can track more information, and the dead wax on these records is about that big. The closer you get to the middle of the record, the less good the sound typically is. But this is a great sounding record, and one I would suggest. A lot of the Atlantic stuff I'm not going to buy because it's a lot of music that I don't really listen to and I don't know about. Probably should try some maybe. But this is one that I would highly recommend. It's a 45 RPM and it's done exceedingly well. So just came in this morning and I just listened to these. Man, Mr. Len Felman knocked it out of the box again. Bill Evans, Top of the Gate, Volume 2. How Volume 2 showed up before Volume 1, I have no idea. But it did. And it's a great record. Again, very, very clean. Bernie Grundman did the mastering on this. It's 200 gram, again, 45 RPM. It's a double LP. I believe pressed in Canada, and it's a good pressing. I don't know quite where they did it, but it's a good pressing. It's quiet. It sounds great. But Bernie Grundman knocked it out of the box again. I don't know about Bernie, and like I said in the other videos, Bernie and Kevin Gray and Ryan K. Smith and these guys, they must never sleep. All they do is master records. But this is done at the Top of the Gate in New York City, where I kind of grew up in that area and spent a lot of time there. It's an interesting building. It's in the corner of Bleecker and Thompson, I believe, in the Village. I think it wasn't called the Gate in the beginning. It was called the Mills House, I think. Was made famous by Symphony Sid on Monday nights. It became a comedy club for a while, and it closed, I think, in the mid-'90s. But a lot of great recordings were done there. That's that and the Vanguard, Half Note, the Blue Note, of course, Minton's Uptown, some other places, some great clubs. What a great time. I was so fortunate to be there to experience that stuff at the time. But a lot of standards on this, Alfie's on this, Autumn Leaves, In a Sentimental Mood, Ellington 2, a lot of good stuff on here. But just a really great record and a really great 400 grams of vinyl in this, folks. It's a 2 LP. Again, it is not a cheap record. I don't know how many they're going to press, but they're around, and I don't think they're going to last either. There is a volume 1 that you can pre-order. I've seen, which I have pre-ordered already. But man, this is right up there with the Village Vanguard record as far as quality. This is the trio with Paul Motion and of course Mr. Evans in his prime in 1968, if I remember right. Eddie Gomez. This is one I think maybe, it's hard to tell which trio is his best. It's all what you like, but this is a great record. Man, that'll be another listen to for tonight. Followed by just the last record. Again, I wouldn't. There's just so many that came out this year, so it's hard to. How do you make a top 10 or a top 20? And Bill Evans is going to be in there too. This just came in. Green Street, finally shipped, and interesting record. Dave Bailey's on drums and Ben Tucker. These guys really gave Grant Green the space to play on here. They knew when to play, when to stay out of the way, and just did what they need to do as a rhythm section. No horns, so you hear Grant Green in a trio setting, which is really interesting. And again, it's a Blue Note classic, and you could pick this up for under $30. And I have to, I would say that this is right up there with the other Grant Greens. I guess, I'm surprised this wasn't a tone poet, but I'm glad in a way it wasn't. Very clean, sounds good. Preston, Germany, I guess, Optimal, I guess. But anyhow, or Palace, I'm not sure. But it's really, really done well. Another Kevin Gray. So we had a Ryan K. Smith, we had a Bernie Grunman, we had a Kevin Gray. If any guys are listening to this, get some sleep, will you please? Anyhow, that's it for today. I'm going to get this other video going here this week. It's a little more difficult for me to put together because I had so many good, interesting, wonderful finds this year, but it'll get together. And until then, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again. Get these while you can. Bye-bye.